Hi, and welcome to Yo-Yo Talk. This is our 62nd episode, and we are now streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And if you're looking to watch some old episodes, they are all archived on our Doc Lucky's Yo-Yo Talk YouTube channel, which surprisingly enough is named Doc Lucky's Yo-Yo Talk. So we have quite a bit of yo-yo history and collecting pearls archived there. So if you're interested in the history of yo-yo or you love to collect yo-yos, definitely check out some of those previous episodes. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. When you do visit, I am happy to report with our current rate of new subscribers, we will be able to monetize the channel in 2057, right before my 100th birthday. Sean is very stoked that he will start getting paid before he is eligible for Social Security. So anyway, for tonight's show, we do have a lot going on. We will have our online trivia contest at the end of the show. Now, we only have so many slots to join in with that trivia contest, so we will post that link in our live stream chat and on our Facebook page, and you can get signed in. I'll show you what you're playing for prize-wise here in a few minutes. Now, Mike Burke of the Duncan Yo-Yo Company stopped by the house earlier this week, along with Duncan Yo-Yo professionals Sean Perez and Brian Jardin. Mike took a deep dive into the collecting of Duncan Freehand yo-yos, and I learned a lot of really good stuff myself from the visit. So we got a little short film clip of that and us discussing Duncan Freehands. And speaking of Duncan Freehands, here in a few minutes, we will be having the legendary Steve Brown live. I could list a 10-foot single-spaced scroll of his accomplishments in the yo-yo world. So let's just suffice it to say, Steve is a member of the National Yo-Yo Hall of Fame, and it goes without saying he is also the father of freehand/counterweight play. Steve is going to update us about the online world yo-yo competitions, which are going on right now. And then I think with a little arm twisting, he might have a few things to say about some of the history of the freehand yo-yo. I, of course, will be announcing who is on our leaderboard for the nominations for the National Yo-Yo Hall of Fame, as well as the names of those that have been nominated. And finally, we will talk about the upcoming Florida State Yo-Yo Championships will be happening on December 10th in Groveland, Florida. But before we get into all this cool stuff, you may have heard on the news that there was a couple of windy days down here in the state of Florida, aka Hurricane Ian. I did escape without too much damage, just a couple of downed trees, a broken water main, no electric and internet for a few days, mostly for first world problems anyway. However, behind every dark cloud, there is a silver lining, and the silver lining for Hurricane Ian was, what a great time for a lake swim. So here is a little clip for those that don't believe that people would swim in a hurricane. I was swimming with some buddies who I will refer to as Idiot 1, Idiot 2, and Idiot 3. Why would anybody want to swim in a hurricane? Let's just call it peer pressure. Happily, at least 3 of the 4 of us did survive that swim. So, okay, let's see what we're going to be playing for in tonight's trivia contest. Sean, roll that video. All right, this is our prize for the trivia contest near the end of the show. This is a Freehand Zero. We're talking a lot about freehand yo-yos tonight on the show. We're going to have Steve Brown on, who is the father of freehand. This Duncan equals Love yo-yo was made many years ago. Even back in 2007, it was selling for about $80 in the package, $50 loose. So now, who knows, this may be a $150, $200 yo-yo. Certainly a nice one to have in your collection. That's our prize for tonight. Okay, I just talked to Steve about that particular yo-yo. He believes that was made sometime between 2002 and 2004. So it's hard to believe that yo-yo is nearly 20 years old or 20 years old. So certainly a very cool prize for the trivia contest, and we look forward to that near the end of the show. Don't forget to sign up for that, and even if you don't want that yo-yo, it is still worth it for having bragging rights for beating our very foul yo-yo trivia master, aka the Nickinator, who I'm sure will be watching and playing. So just so you know, heads up, our subject for the evening will be the 1980s.
Now look, make sure, and I'm going to invite all of our viewers to ask questions in the comments. You know, he can see the comments, I can see the comments. So make sure if you have any questions for us to drop them down there so we can get them answered for you.
Okay, great. Yeah. Please go on and start asking those questions for Steve, because he's going to be on here in a few minutes. So that's why we do this live, folks. As I mentioned, Mike Burke of Duncan Yo-Yos happened to stop by with Brian Jardin and Sean Perez. We hung out a bit, and Mike did me a good solid by educating me on the Duncan Freehand yo-yos. Mike's been there at Duncan for 27 years or more, so there's nobody better to ask about the freehand yo-yos other than our later guest on the show, Mr. Brown. So it sounds like it's going to be a freehand night. Sean, let's roll that little visit clip. So we're going to go back and talk with Mike about the original freehand and a little bit of the history of the making of that when he and Steve Brown got together. Go on.
This is it here. This is the original packaging.
Those are highly collectible, folks. You don't know better. Okay, so for newbie collectors, how do you tell an original freehand from, say, one of the more recent freehands?
Well, the original, we started with 3 colors.
Okay.
Red, blue, and yellow, and all had the white caps.
Okay, so that's the best way to identify
Well, that's
them?
one. And then 2, you can see this is more of a heat transfer. It's not a pad print.
Okay, very good.
So the heat transfer, you can see it's multiple colors.
Okay.
So this was made in Middlefield, Ohio. And so before this, though, the prototypes you see.
Okay, now these are for the friction to get responsiveness, and they were trying different things.
Trying different type of responses, and these were all done again before this. And you can see we start with a regular starburst. It wasn't responsive enough. We tried a few different designs. Some of them are nice. The Duncan logo.
That's cool that you put the
not
actual
the
logo on there. It's a friction thing.
Let's show that.
Yeah.
And wouldn't it be great if that worked?
Oh, that would have been fantastic. But that's such a cool story about how, and then you didn't end up using any of these
they
molds.
They didn't work.
So these are here in the collection, thanks to Steve Brown bringing these by and putting out so everybody could see how things develop. But that's a cool story.
Yeah.
And then you ended up just using a sticker.
We used stickers. From there, right from here, we tried different stickers. And so we were at Toy Fair once, Steve and I, and we were literally the night before the show, we were hammering out stickers from the sheet. And we were like cutting them out and sticking them on. Right. And so that was all prior to a finished good here. Cool. And then, from there we did, we did different colors, and then from there we did, since it was made in Middlefield, Ohio, when he went transfer from yellow to blue to red, that's when we had all these transitionals. Okay. And so Steve and I were like divvying out transitionals.
With all the freehands now, and they've made, 100 different ones at least. Yeah. If you said, okay, so the freehand, that's kind of the classic one that you would think collectors would, kind of the holy grail of the freehand.
Right.
But is there one that sticks out in your mind that says, oh, wow, that's really super collectible?
I think it's the originals.
Yeah,
so it's the
blue,
blue,
the originals.
The blue, the red, and the yellow with the white cap.
Okay,
And then
cool.
after the white cap, the second run was with a yellow cap.
Okay.
And then we did a special for Infinite Illusions with Greg Cohen.
Okay.
It was called a puke green,
Okay.
and it was like a nasty looking.
Now,
like
was that a limited run?
It was a limited run.
Okay, so the Infinite Illusions freehand would be.
Oh, that would be
highly.
highly collectible.
Okay.
It was only less than 200.
Okay, I'm going to go and start looking through my bins and make sure I don't have one of those.
I would say
around.
that's one of the most collectible,
Okay.
the hardest to get because
Infinite Illusions. That's
from
cool.
from a production standpoint, because we actually did production.
Yeah,
It's like a Snot Green, like a
it's not green. All right.
but it
Snot
actually was
Green
good
freehand,
with the
folks,
white
that's
cap.
the one to have.
So if you have that, yeah, I would say it's it was highly collectible. So
Cool.
Greg sold it at on the Infinite Illusions site.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so yeah,
I
that's what
better
you got to
check,
get.
Because there for a while, I was just buying everything he was throwing up.
Yeah.
So, not saying that it was snot was being thrown up.
Yeah, so this was all this freehand, the original, was all done in Ohio, and then when we went to China, it was the
That's
freehand. That's when it was freehand. People called it freehand 2,
Yeah.
but it was a different shape, and then we went back to freehand 0, meaning before 1,
Right.
and that was this shape, but that was China made as well. So
Cool. Well, that's
Yeah.
thanks for
Yeah.
sharing that story.
Yeah.
This is very. I think there was another color, wasn't there?
yeah, there was green, yellow, silver, black, red.
green. Oh, okay.
There might have been one
Did
more.
they make the same amount of each of the MGs? Do you know? You remember?
Generally, they were doing 200 of each color.
Okay.
But I'm not 100% sure. I can't remember if every color was just 200, but that was what we started with. And so the actual yo-yo was made in Japan.
Okay.
But everything else was done in Ohio.
Okay, cool.
The box was bought from a Canadian company that it was specialized in wood. The foam was done, and so this was the counterweights were done in China. And so
Okay.
Steve and I and about 3-4 customer service ladies in our office, we all formed this like assembly line
And put them all
right in
together.
the conference center.
Yeah, I see your fingerprint on this one right there.
And we're like, okay, put the caps in, put this in, and it all led up to one of the worlds, and that's where Steve announced it.
Yeah. That's good.
It was good. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I
fun.
remember reading in magazines and stuff the Duncan MG and all that kind of stuff, and it was.
And like when the wooden boxes came in, they were like stacked up, and everyone's bugging us. When are you guys getting this stuff out of here? We're like, we're packing it. We're gonna pack it. But yeah, so when we launched it at Worlds, that was August.
Yeah.
So that summer we had all these boxes in the office. Mainly the wood was taking up all the room. And,
Yeah, sure. The yo-yo.
But yeah, so it was fun.
Yeah, that's cool.
And Taka helped us with the yo-yo
design?
itself.
Oh, okay.
Working with the Japanese factory.
That's right. So it was made in Japan.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, that's
So
a neat,
yeah,
another neat freehand
Yeah.
story there. The MG. At one time, I guess it still is probably the most expensive mass-produced yo-yo, isn't it?
Yeah, I know there's a couple other companies. Yo-Yo Factory had one, and there's another company
Okay.
that they said, oh, well, I'd charge $50 more.
Yeah, so it's
like
because-
a little bit
becomes a
more.
thing. It
Yeah,
becomes a
yeah.
thing.
So there's a few out there now, but yeah, that was good memories.
All right, we got to learn a little bit about the freehand yo-yo, probably from the second most knowledgeable person about the freehand, but we're going to bring Steve Brown on now, who is the most knowledgeable person on the freehand yo-yo. Steve, of course, is the father of the freehand yo-yo, or some prefer to call it counterweight to make it, I guess that's the generic term of it. And right now we are logging in with Steve. This show has just about everything on it, so I think that would be just fine. Okay, so I'm going to restart here, and I don't know how much everybody had caught and all that, but I was just saying, I do want to say, Steve and I do go back a long way. Show that clip, Sean, if you could. Please don't knock Steve out by doing it.
Hold on.
You're not there yet, huh? Well, anyway, Steve Brown, if you haven't been listening, is the father of freehand yo-yos.
Try and get rid of this and put him on a microphone because that application is not working.
Okay, so we're doing something different here?
Try to.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to put you guys on one microphone. I'm going to kill your lab, and you're going to talk into that one.
Okay, we'll just talk in the same mic then and see if that works. So yeah, I've been trying to get Steve on the show for a while now, and then of course we have probably the worst technical difficulties we've ever had on the show. Okay, Steve, try and talk now. See if this jerry rig is going to work. Can you hear me, Steve? I don't think Steve's hearing me. Can you hear me, Steve? Nope.
I can hear you coming through, so I should.
Okay, so he's making motions like.
Do this. And 10.
Okay.
Join room. Microphone.
All right. Sean's making some more adjustments here, so hopefully this will work.
Steve, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Did that do it? Do we? Are we?
I'm listening.
I can hear you.
All right. Good.
It's not
All right.
perfect, but
All right.
we'll
It's
roll
not.
with it.
This is not perfect, but this looks like we've finally done a jerry rig workaround of this sound stuff. So anyway, I'll just start by saying thank you, Steve, for coming on the show, and thank you for being patient while Sean figured out all the technical difficulties here. Obviously, Steve is the father of the freehand yo-yo. He is a member of the National Yo-Yo Hall of Fame, amongst other many, many things. I've known Steve for a lot of years. Show that one little clip of Steve.
That's
And-
the one with the voice?
Yeah, that's just to kind of date us a little bit.
Yeah.
Can you pop that up?
Yep. So we'll pop it right there.
All right.
And it should be.
Okay. And that is probably at least 20 years old, because the kid there that's the oldest, which looks like to be about 4 or 5, is graduating medical school in a few months. So and that's Steve doing a little demonstration of a top trip there. And I met Steve a few years even before that was taken. So it's good to have you on the show, and want to talk to you about a lot of things. But first, we've got the World Online Yo-Yo Contest going on. And I wanted you to give us a little update on that. And my understanding is there is still time to be involved in that for certain divisions. So what should people be looking for?
Registration opens today for the women's division, for the over 40 division, and for art and performance division. Registration is closed for 1 through 5A. And actually just this morning, Hironori and I did a live stream and announced the prelim results and all the players that are moving through to finals. So you've still got time. I think you got 2 weeks to enter women's over 40 or art and performance. And you got 2 weeks to get that in there. And then we're going to be announcing final results right around November 12th is the plan right now.
Now, are the women's division and the over 40, are they run the same way as the regular events? Are you doing a prelims and finals, or is it just kind of an all finals for them?
Yeah, for those 3 divisions, it's just a single round. So it's basically just straight to finals for them. We're trying to encourage participation. You know what I mean? We're trying to get more women involved in yo-yoing, which is always a tough sell because yo-yoing is filled with boys, and boys are stinky and irritating. And we're trying to get, we're trying to kind of give, room for the older players to kind of come in and have a good time. And realistically, it's not so highly competitive that we need to reduce those numbers through like a prelim to final round.
Okay, so
and then.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to say that art and performance is always, it's a pretty labor intensive thing to put together one of those routines. So there's not really a need for like an elimination round there.
So give me the substance of, say, somebody is going to enter the AP division or the over 40 division. How does this set up? You do are those 1 minute routines or 2 minute routines for those?
For women's and over 40, it's 2 minutes.
Okay.
For the art and performance division, I don't remember exactly off the top of my head, but I believe the time limit is 6 to 7 minutes. We want to give people plenty of time to really tell a story with their routine. So that particular division is you have significantly more time. And one of the interesting things about art and performance in the online World Yo-Yo Contest that we've been doing that I don't think a lot of people have been paying attention to is that you can do full video editing. So art and performance in online worlds is actually more of the old school kind of video contest like we used to have back in the day at the in-person World Yo-Yo Contest, like, you know, back in like the Rosen Plaza Orlando days.
Yeah, the yo-yo contest that must not be named.
I mean, it could be named. It was, you know, it was Worlds in Orlando. There was some good stuff there. One of the best things about it was there was the underground video throwdown.
That's the one
Burke
that on threat of death if you told anybody about it, I believe. Is that not correct?
I mean, at this point, you know, everybody involved has like back pain and sore feet, so I'm just going to go ahead and say the statute of limitations is up on that. But it was great. I mean, it was literally an underground yo-yo video contest, but everyone got assigned a theme. So, you know, you had to deliver based off of a theme that you had no control over. And people did some really hilarious, weird stuff. And, you know, there's a little bit of that vibe that we're kind of hoping to capture with art and performance division for online worlds.
Cool. I think that's a great idea. I didn't even realize that was part of the contest. So that is very neat that you're doing that. So, folks, put on your thinking caps. You still got time to enter that AP division. And since we have a lot of folks that watch this show that are over 40, no harm in cracking out the yo-yos. And now, is this in the over 40? Is this it's not just like, is this fixed axle, or are we doing non-responsive or whatever you want? How is that being judged?
Oh yeah, you can do anything you want. You can do any division, any style of play. You know, you can do 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, 5A.
Okay.
Yeah, you can do anything you want.
You take in consideration, you know, a fixed axle player versus somebody that's using a non-responsive yo-yo.
Yeah, the Japanese have actually developed, they don't use it very often. They tend to use it more for like slower level contests, but it actually works really well for the over 40 division. But they've developed a differential so that different styles of play get a slight modifier to the score to kind of even out like how fast you can score points with different styles.
Cool. Now, how are you judging the AP division? What are the are there certain criteria in that people that might enter that would need to know?
Yeah, the AP division is judged a little bit more holistically. So rather than having like a strict, you know, like numerical kind of criteria, there's a panel of judges who really kind of sit down, look at it, you know, they kind of talk it through, you know, like was there a definitive story? Did it have a beginning, a middle, and an end? Was the story told well? Was it, you know, how was it presented? And then they kind of like, you know, sort of have a conversation and talk through like the merits and the shortcomings of each video, and then decide. It's also not guaranteed that all the prizes will be given. So they go through the videos and then they decide which videos, if any, merit certain prizes.
So there's not like a category you don't, you know, like you don't have to do certain type of yo-yo tricks. It's more about the true artistic presentation of that.
Right. Yeah, it's more about like the story and the presentation, and
okay.
And you know, they try to look for, you know, creativity and then actively reward creativity without expecting people to put it into a certain bucket.
Okay, cool. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Did you
So.
see what John Marshall said?
No, I did not. let's see. John said what? If I heard for the over 40, if you go over 4 minutes, you qualify for a refill on your oxygen tank. Okay. Well, I think people that are just 40 should be able to do that just fine, John. So I don't think that's a worry. All right. Well, any other things we should know about the online yo-yo contest going on right now?
No, I mean, other than, if you visit the IYYF YouTube channel, you can see all of the prelim videos, and man, are they good. They are so good. Everything is linked off of owyyc.com. So I would go and check that out. For everybody who's probably on their phones right now, if you just go to our link tree on Instagram, there should be a direct link right to our YouTube channel. Go check out the prelim videos. They're fantastic. There's nothing in this world that I love more than the new players getting to show off their skills.
Yeah, I was looking at some of the videos earlier today, and they are fantastic. It's pretty impressive. So anyway, I want to go segue into the freehand yo-yos, and we were talking, and unfortunately, when Steve was telling the story to me, I only could hear it, but we were talking about kind of the invention of the freehand style of play, and I remember Steve showing me the first time a freehand play, and it was probably just weeks or months after he had developed it, because it was just a very, very basic trick. I believe he swung it around, bounced it off the dice off the wall, and it was just like mind-blowing to me to see somebody do that, because I had never even conceived of anything like that. And he had a couple other little basic tricks now that would be considered very simplistic, but it was just amazing to see. But it's started with you, what's the name of the trick again? Slippery eel?
Slippery eel, yeah.
So tell us the story about the slippery eel and how that kind of developed.
So I was originally just trying to do slippery eel tricks where you basically just, throw a sleeper, take the yo-yo off of your finger, and then you sort of throw it around, and then you have to catch the string and just sort of grab it as it goes by. And the problem with that is that it would just like run right through my hands. Like it was just running right through. So Mark McBride gave me these little plastic heart beads that were seriously like this big. Like they were the size of the beads that we use for counterweights these days, like to hold counterweights onto our string these days. So, I mean, honestly, like if you look at it, like it's not much bigger than the actual knot on your slip knot, super, super tiny. And he recommended to just thread the string onto it and just let this sit like right next to the knot for the slip knot, so that when the yo-yo was sliding through my hand, I would feel the bead and I would know to like stop and like grab immediately. And it kind of worked okay, but not really. And me being me, I'd lost them almost immediately. And then like a couple weeks later, I was looking for these little beads because I would, decided I wanted to practice it a little more. Didn't have one, couldn't find it. But what I did have was a late 90s wallet chain that was really, really long and had canceled casino dice like drilled through and like strung onto it. So I was just like literally like looking around. I'm like, what's small and has a hole in it? And I saw that and I just, pulled one off. Tied it on the end of the string, threw a trapeze, and I sneezed. And when I sneezed, I dropped the weight. It swung around and slid through, and then I was just holding it fully, full spinning sleeper in my left hand. So then I swung it back up into a trapeze, and I was like, I can do a trapeze on either side. I can do tricks ambidextrous. I can do tricks 100% back and forth, ambidextrous on either side. And so I immediately set about trying to make yo-yoing more like juggling. And, and with the kind of ambidextrous nature of it, where I was trying to do everything like fully symmetrical, like I was trying to learn all my tricks, both left-handed and right-handed. I also kind of hit on the idea of doing like full releases so that you would have like a maximum kind of risk factor like juggling, and so that you would have tricks that took up more of the stage because yo-yo tricks are too small. So that was pretty much the beginning of freehand right there.
Yeah, that is such a cool story, and something that everybody that plays yo-yo should hear, because that was incredibly neat what you developed there, and changed the yo-yo world for sure. And just so you know, Bride gave me his little bag full of little hearts, and I have it somewhere here. And when I find that bag, I'm going to send you one of those little hearts, so you can tell the story and show that little heart in the future. So it's here somewhere.
Nice.
It's here somewhere. Yeah, I got one question on. I know how many different freehands would you say have been made now? I mean, you could just specialize in collecting freehands, I think.
I mean, you could.
150 different ones?
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me to know that. I stopped paying. I sold my entire yo-yo collection a few years back.
On you.
I did. Well, I was. I got divorced, and it was one of those things where I needed. I needed money to take care of my kids and pay for a lawyer and stuff. And I was like, you know, I can get more yo-yos later, was the exact thought that went through my head. So I sold off basically my entire collection, like all of my freehands, all my freehand prototypes, every single colorway that had been produced up to that point. So at that point, I also kind of stopped collecting new ones. So like there was a significant chunk of time where I have no idea what was coming out. So, I mean, when you say like 150 different colorways, like different versions, like, I mean, that sort of feels right, but I honestly have no idea. It could even be twice that for all I know.
So I have one, and I guess I was confused when Mike was explaining the original freehand. It's a freehand, but it has a white cap, but it has a gray body, and it looks like a freehand, and it's on the same card as the original freehands. But he said you only made them in red, blue, and yellow. I believe that's right.
The very first run was only 3 colors. It was red, yellow, and blue bodies, and all 3 had white caps.
And then how would that gray one fit into the timeline then with the white cap?
The gray one was most likely a prototype or a test color that we ran.
Oh, okay. Well, that would make sense.
And then sometimes we would package those. And there was a point in time, and it was real loosey-goosey. Like, we weren't paying attention. We weren't thinking too hard about, like, the legacy of any of this stuff. But, you know, we were packaging up weird color prototypes and giving them to, like, sales reps to use, you know, for, like, presentations to try and get placement. And we weren't thinking too hard about, like, whether or not it was a production color. We weren't thinking about scarcity or anything. It was literally just, you know, do we have anything that we can send to Jeff? Because he's doing this trade show next week. So there's definitely some weird stuff floating around there. There's also, because we were packaging everything on site for the first run of freehands, like, it was also real easy to just, like, I could walk down to the factory floor and be like, hey, can you guys, like, package these, like, 6 weird ones for me, please? Okay, cool, thanks. You know, so it was there's some weird stuff floating around there that honestly I probably wouldn't even recognize, but it's at the same time, it's still, like, fully legit, you know, from that time period and actually manufactured and packaged during the same time.
Cool. Hey, one thing before we wrap it up, we still have not gotten your Hall of Fame plaque. We need the photo that you wanted me to use, that animation wouldn't fit adequately on the plaque. So I'm going to communicate with you so we can get that plaque made and get it out to you. So
I appreciate that.
Yeah, just so you know, you're the only person I know of that is in the Hall of Fame that doesn't have their Hall of Fame plaque, and you were certainly deserving of that. So, well, anyway, let me just check, make sure we don't have any more questions. out there. It looks like we've covered about everything. So, hey, Steve, thank you, man, for coming on the show. We really appreciate it, and we all appreciate everything you've done for the yo-yoing community over the last 20 to 30 years. So it would be a different atmosphere if it wasn't for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, man. You hang in there.
All right, you too, sir.
Moving on a little bit. You know, that was a wealth of information that Steve had for us. Let's see, I need my vampire clip back here. Oh, I'm already, okay, I'm back online here, sorry. The nominations for the National Yo-Yo Hall of Fame, we have those starting now. We've had about 100 nominations total so far, and in a second I'm going to show you who the nominees are and give you the top 3 most nominations. And again, a reminder, the people that have the top 3 in nominations will be automatically entered in that pool of 10 finalists, and then the executive committee will select 7 more to round out that 10 finalist pool. So then in February, the Academy of Yo-Yo Arts will look at those 10 finalists and vote, and then we will announce the inductees in March. Now remember, you can only nominate 1 person, and the link is on the Facebook page, and it should be in our live chat too. So now let's show you our leaderboard so far. And I just want to say before, well, there it is. John Gates made the leaderboard, but folks, John Gates is already in the National Yo-Yo Hall of Fame, so you can quit nominating him. So anyway, so our 3 were Jimmy Johnson, John Higbee, and Bob Maloney, and all very worthy people, of course. And here are our other nominees. Those first 3 were the top 3 right now, but that generally changes throughout the course of the nominations. These are the folks that we have had nominated so far. I do want to say that there are a lot of names that aren't on that list that should be on that list. So I want you guys and gals to make sure you put on your thinking caps, and we'll go on and get some more nominations in.
Now, in addition to that, make sure they know that they can't nominate you.
Oh, yeah. And there's been a couple people throw my name. I am not, or ever will be, as long as I am the acting director of the Hall of Fame, I am not eligible. So don't waste your nomination on me. And please don't waste your nomination on the people that are already in the National Yo-Yo Hall of Fame. You can go to the nationalyoyohalloffame.com and check out who's in there, so you make sure you don't vote on or nominate somebody that's already in the Hall of Fame.
Now, I will say there was one other person that did give you a nomination. I don't know if you wanted to talk to them, give them a second chance.
Yeah. If you did send in a nomination for me, let us know, and we'll cleanse it and let you nominate somebody else that's worthy. So one last thing before we go to the trivia contest, and if you haven't had a chance to sign in for the trivia contest, please do it now. It's on this chat stream and on the Facebook page.
Here, I'm going to put it up.
He's going to put it up. There's the little QR code. You can scan that and go directly to it, or you can just enter the URL and get in that way. So
give him just a second before I take that down.
Okay, we're just going to let you take a look at that, pull out your phones. The easiest thing to do is probably scan that QR code and take you right to the trivia contest.
If you're still having issues, the URL is posted on the Doc Lucky's Yo-Yo Talk page, and it's going to be put in the chat here momentarily. So if it doesn't work for you here on this screen, go to the page or drop in the chat and you can click.
And remember, you're playing for that Duncan Freehand Zero yo-yo, which is a pretty fine collectible, especially listening to all this talk tonight about Duncan Freehand yo-yos. You're not going to see that pop up generally very often on auction. So it's a great yo-yo to add to your collection. So, hopefully you do well in the trivia contest. So before we get to the trivia contest, I just want to announce the 2022 Florida State Yo-Yo Championships. They're going to be held December 10th, so red letter that date. I believe this is the actual first state championships to be held since COVID. And Yo-Yo Talk is proud to be the title sponsor for this year's event. We weren't going to be a sponsor, but Dano has promised me plenty of alcohol, drugs, and loose women. However, he did not specify the date, only that it would be during my wake, whatever that is. I assume it has to do with something to do with surfing or wakeboarding, or maybe since he's Irish, something to do with that, but I'm not Irish, so I don't know what that means. So anyway, I know the event committee is working very hard on making this an amazing event, and this is going to be in Groveland, Florida. And Dano's lined up some fantastic celebrity judges. Ed Hapanick, I'm sure you've seen a lot of his video posts. He's always posting some great video shorts. Dennis Schlatter, top player that's been around for decades. And Connor Schulten, I think he may have had actually a clip of him earlier in the world. I think he's a national two-time champion, and there was a little clip of him doing part of his routine in the World Online Yo-Yo Contest a little earlier in the show. So they're going to have a collector zone, so a lot of vendors too want everybody to bring out their yo-yos to trade. There's going to be a 1A division, an X division, which will kind of incorporate 2A, 3A, 4A, and 5A. They're going to have a sports division with a ladder and sports freestyle. A duo division, my favorite. 2 players are going to act together as a team. A fixed axle division and a responsive division. Woohoo! It's all there. This is going to be some contest. So, and you're not restricted to being a Florida resident. Come on out. We want everybody in the East to come on out and join us for this state championships. It's a long time since we've had a championships, and everybody needs to come out. You can go to floridayoyo.com and sign up now. There's a discount right now of $10 if you sign up before October 15th, $5 if you sign up before November 1st. And there's also an event page on Facebook, Florida State Yo-Yo. Next month, I'm going to have Dano the Mano on, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the Florida State Championship, and we hope to see all you guys there at the contest. And again, bring plenty of yo-yos to trade. I'll be there with yo-yos to trade. Okay, it's finally time for the trivia contest. Do we have anybody signed on, Sean, or technical difficulties blown us away here tonight? I'm sure everybody wants that freehand yo-yo.
Give you yours.
Okay. It has not started yet.
Oh, no, I know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know. But how many folks do we got signed up so far?
Right now.
Sean is going to let us know how many people you guys are competing against.
We got 10 in right now.
10 in right now?
20.
What's that?
10 of the 20.
10 of the 20. We've only got 10 slots left. So if you're watching, you still have a chance to log in and win that freehand yo-yo. So we'll give you another second here to log in. Now let me just kind of go over the contest here. What we're going to do is you've got 5 questions. It's a multiple choice question. They are kind of hard questions to answer. You will be judged not only on answering the question right, but time too as well. Is that correct, Sean?
Yeah, so if you answer the correct... Let me put my mic on.
If you answer the question correctly faster, that is better for you.
Correct.
And if you answer incorrectly, you get a little deduction.
Yes, I believe it is
and then
1/5 of your points get taken away.
Okay, and then the ranking will show after each question. Is that correct? We can see the ranking?
Yes, I can also show it whenever you'd like.
Okay.
Hit a button.
All right. So did we get anybody else sign on while we were chit-chatting there? Or
We did. We got one more person, so I'm going to go ahead and start the...
Okay, let's start that trivia contest. We'll see what we got here.
Countdown.
And I'm having to actually look at this on my phone to be able to see this. We haven't figured out how to put it up on the screen yet. So
we'll do this.
the game will begin shortly, it says. Okay, in the August 1982 Penny Power magazine, Kids Test Yo-Yos, The worst rank yo-yo was, that is the worst rank yo-yo, A, Duncan Superman, B, Festival All-Star Champion, C, Duncan Satellite, D, Duncan Imperial, E, Festival All-American Wooden Yo-Yo. One of those was ranked the worst by kids. And how long do they have? Probably about 30 seconds to answer this, right?
Yep, until you tell me to stop.
Okay, well, we'll give them another
Two, 4, 6 people, 6 of the 11 so far.
Come on, you other 5, make your choices. I'll give you about 10 more seconds. Make your choice. How many we got?
Still 6.
Still 6. We're okay. Well, all right. Let's call it. Do the question. The answer is. Can you show them?
Yeah, I can show them.
Well, the answer was the Duncan Superman.
Oh, here we go. Show correct answer. You ready?
Yeah, show the correct answer, and then you can show the.
Get this off. And the correct answer was.
Which surprised me. I would have missed that. I thought that was a pro-yo style of slimline, and I actually thought it played pretty good. Certainly played better than a Duncan Satellite, and that was a Satellite from 1982, which was the plastic light-up yo-yo, which really sucked as far as playing goes. Okay, next question. Okay, now, well, yeah, I saw we had 2, Simcoe and Steve Brown. All right, is still in there. So, okay, let's see what's going on with question number 2. In the 1982 Penny Power magazine, the price of a General Lee yo-yo was $1.68, $2.58, $2.95, $3.48, and $5.95. That one is a tough one, folks. That one is a tough one. It could be any of those. You have to remember what things were worth in 1982. I remember you could still get I think a McDonald's meal, at least a hamburger and small fries and a small drink for like $1 then.
So you can see what everybody's answering right here. Look at this. Look at those numbers.
Well, I don't get to see them. What are you?
No, look down at your phone.
I'm looking at my phone.
You don't see the
Oh, I see them coming up. Okay. So it looks like we've had all 6 answers. So let's go to the correct answer, which is B, $2.58. That's how much a General Lee yo-yo was, according to the Penny Power magazine. I don't know what it actually was in a Walmart then. All right, so okay, so where are we at now? So we've got okay, so we got 3 people ranked 1, right?
4 people ranked 1.
Four people ranked 1. Okay, on.
Question.
What's that?
Next question.
Next question. Here we go. In 1982, if you paid $1 for a lifetime membership for Yo-Yo Players International, and I was a member, how many years subscription did you get to Yo News? And the answers are A, 0, you must pay extra for the subscription. B, 1 year. C, 2 years. D, 3 years. Or E, 5 years. And even though I was a member of Yo-Yo International, I could not begin to remember what the answer of that question was.
Wow.
And do we have everybody answered yet? No, we're missing 2. 2 folks have not answered. We'll give you guys oh, wait a minute. 2, yeah, we've lost 2. Come on, guys. At least throw in a wild guess.
We still got 11 people in there. Where are the others?
Come on, guys. All right. I can't answer, as somebody's popped up.
Wait, where? Why can't he answer?
Tim Simcoe. Why can't you answer, Tim?
Tell us why. Okay, we got 5. We have 6 now.
Okay, we got 6. Okay.
Ready?
Yeah, show the answer.
Correct answer was
1 year. 1 year. You got that Yo-Yo News for 1 year. So I must have rejoined several times because I did get it more than 1 year. All right. And the ranking is Oh, we got only two in the one position. Ooh. Steve Brown and Jimmy Johnson battling it out. Oh, it seems like the old guys have a little more of an advantage here. Okay, let's go to question 4.
We have two people in the negative. Voltaire and Jake. Negative 60.
Sorry, you guys.
I wonder what Jake does.
Four guys. All right. Let's go on. Let's see. Maybe you're good. Maybe they'll come back. In the 1982 Penny Powers magazine, they told players to place the loop of the string where, and your choices were your middle finger, your index finger, both middle and index fingers, attached to a brass ring or on a dice. Where would Penny Powers magazine tell them players they should put their yo-yo string?
Okay, we got 5 in.
Okay, I'm not seeing the answers come.
Try not to give anybody, group advantage.
Oh, I see. It shows up everywhere. All right. So, okay, everybody's answered. Yeah, I felt a little bit bad about this question because it was. Oh, go ahead and throw the correct answer up. The middle finger, which is the correct finger, but I thought since we had all those other things that might mess some people up, and I guess it did one person. So.
Wait, Jimmy Johnson is in.
Oh my gosh, we had okay. So this is coming down to the last question here. It is close. Jimmy Johnson is in on the bubble here. It's his to lose. Okay, last question.
You ready?
Yeah, let's bring it up. In 1982, what company made the Mickey Mouse Club yo-yo? Duncan, Russell, Royal, Festival, or Dell? All those are yo-yo companies.
Okay, we got 3, 4. Let me show you this one we'll keep mysterious to see what people are saying.
All right, that's fine. We don't want to give people
Don't give them group advantage.
Yeah, no group advantage here. Duncan, Russell, Royal, Festival, or Dell?
Okay, we've got all 6 in.
Okay, let's see what they did. Show us the rankings first. Show us.
Okay, you want me to show you the rankings before the?
No. Show us the percentages of what people vote. Okay, so all right. Well, that's interesting. I'm very happy to see that nobody did Dell because they were out of business in '82. So that was a good for everybody. Okay, show the correct answer, folks. And it was Festival Yo-Yo. Let's see who our winner is. And it is Jimmy Johnson with Steve Brown taking a close second place. So, all right, Jimmy, you just won that. Now, is that your first, Jimmy, is that the first time you've won a trivia contest? Because if it is, you get the Trivia Champion t-shirt along with that Freehand Zero Yo-Yo. Yeah, just type in the comment section there if that's your first trivia contest you've won.
Just let Don Harris know that you can't do it in the chat anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Don Harris is in there trying.
Yeah, Don. I see you're trying to answer in the chat. You have to actually next month. You're going to have to enter into the program because this is live on multiple different things.
I'm going to end this. Finish the trivia. Jimmy Johnson. Oh, Jim did say it's the first time winning. See that?
Okay, great. So Jimmy Johnson is going to get one of those nice Yo-Yo Talk Trivia Champion shirts, and we're very excited about that. Let's see. That's where are we at here? We're winding it out. I just want to thank Mike Burke for all the information. Of course, to the amazing Steve Brown for watching and taking part in the Yo-Yo Trivia Contest. And just remember to get your nominations in for the National Yo-Yo Hall of Fame. And next month I'll be updating our leaderboard and any new nominees that happen to be popped up. Also, check out the entries for the Florida State Yo-Yo Championship and the World Online Yo-Yo Championship. They just opened the entries up for the women's division, over 40, and the artistic presentation division. So everybody needs to be thinking about that. I'd like to remind everybody something very important. You can never have too many yo-yos. This is Doc Lucky signing off until next month. Thursday, November the 3rd at 9:30 p.m. Same yo-yo time, same yo-yo channel.